Greetings from Costa Rica. My name is Matt Rosensteele. I work with Coldwell Banker Tamarindo Realty. Thank you very much for joining us here on Costa Rica FAQ, my video blog about the frequently asked questions regarding moving to, retiring in, investing here in Costa Rica. Thanks for joining. If you're on YouTube, I'd love it if you'd take the time to subscribe to my channel. If you're watching on Facebook and want to give us a like, that would be great as well. Thank you very much. 2019 was marked with a lot of long videos where I did blogs that were probably more than anybody would like to watch in one single sitting. My 2020 resolution was to get everything shorter, sweeter, more to the point. And so one of my projects that I've had in mind was to redo a video I previously put together, update it. For fans of Costa Rica FAQ number 8, my plan today is to divide that video into editable pieces about buying property here, the general process and the most important questions that you have, set up into, like I said, chapters that will be much more enjoyable, easy to digest, etc. Chapter 1 here, we're going to start with 3 simple questions, the basics of property here in Costa Rica. First of all, is the land titled? Second, we'll talk about whether foreigners can buy property. And third, how should I search for real estate, or how does one look for real estate here in Costa Rica? If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email to matt@cbtamarindo.com, whether it's about what you see here or questions in general about Costa Rica. Without further ado, let's get started. Is land titled here in Costa Rica? 99.5% or even more of the land, yes, is titled in the exact same way with the exact same ownership rights that you would see in the US or Canada, or rather, let's call it fee simple titled ownership that you're used to in the US or Canada or Europe. The only exception to that is land that is right along the beach. There is a section that was set aside essentially from 50 meters inland of the high tide line to 250 meters inland that was restricted in the late 70s through coastal protection laws. If you're looking for property within that strip, you might find that land is leased through a concession with a local municipality. You would find that very rarely there is titled property right on the beach. But in general, if you're coming to Costa Rica and buying something anywhere that's not right on the ocean, you can be absolutely certain that it's 100% titled and that you can own it and enjoy the use of it with the same guarantees that you would find in other more mature real estate markets. One of the key ways that the Costa Rican government has ensured that people enjoy fee title, simple and carefree, secure ownership of their property is through the National Registry. Every single title of every property is available in a publicly open registry that I can log into, that you could with the right know-how, etc., so that anybody can see a property's information, the full title, any liens that are against it, who owns it, when they bought it, what price they registered, that they paid for it, on, what the legally registered neighbors on. That is all available in the National Registry, El Registro Nacional here in Costa Rica, and it's one of the ways you can be guaranteed that the property here is a secure investment. Second, can foreigners buy property? Absolutely they can. Lots of people here hear that because so much property is owned through a corporation, I think they get the impression or sort of this inkling that, oh, you have to have a corporation in order to own that title. That's false. You can absolutely hold the title of a Costa Rican property in your name as a foreigner. You don't have to even have permanent residency to do so. For a while, my wife and I held the title of our lot in our names with just our passports as our identification. Obviously, as we got residency, that was replaced, but you can come down here, not have your residency, buy one of these fee simple titled properties and hold it in your name, even as a foreigner. Again, there is an exception for concessions, which do actually have to be held in the name of a Costa Rican. There are all kinds of implications for that and all kinds of legal structures to put in place so that you can still use a concession property. I'm not going to go into those because, again, I am not a concession lawyer or regular lawyer. But anyhow, if you're looking at anything except for that property right along the beach, you're buying fee simple titled property, you can hold it as a foreigner, no problem. Finally, how should I search for real estate in Costa Rica? I think a lot of people sort of get lost because there is an absolute overabundance of information about real estate, about Costa Rica in general. There are millions of different interested parties, let's say, trying to promote the country, either the tourism industry, lots of retirement platforms, all kinds of social communities, and it can seem daunting. Where do I start my search for real estate? And some people start logging on to websites and, okay, well, I want to look at this house and I want to look at that house and, oh, this looks pretty, on and on and on. What can often happen is that if you're looking at a website for Costa Rican real estate, first of all, if the website contains fully accurate information, that's going to be not always the case. You might find that listings are outdated, someone's actually mispromoting a price to try and lure in people, or they're promoting a real estate sales site that they're actually just trying to lure you into buying a certain product, a developer or a particular community, and pretty soon you're being told advice based entirely on their sales program. My heartfelt recommendation, and obviously I have an enormous bias, but my heartfelt recommendation is that as much as possible you look for a real professional to help you with your real estate search from step one in contacting someone. And really, there are lots of excellent professionals in this area and throughout Costa Rica. Some of them work for Coldwell Banker, some of them work for RE/MAX, some of them work for local firms. They are available, and you can find professionals in this country that aren't going to just try and sell you one particular thing. But if you find someone who, first of all, is truly looking out for your best interests, they should be able to help you then navigate the full process as you start to think about which part of the country should I look in, which community is best for my goals, is that price right realistic for a house, on and on and on. Because here, there is no MLS, multiple listing service, that conglomerates all real estate data. So realtors are not all working with a 100% database that has up-to-date information. And that makes it ever more important for you to find someone who's going to advocate for your interests. How do you know someone's going to advocate for your interests? Well, there are two realtors associations here in Costa Rica. I belong to one of them called CRGAR, or the Costa Rica Global Association of Realtors. Both of these associations are using the same professional standards used by NAR, the National Association of Realtors in the US. So our ethics, our code, the way that we operate through these associations, and very much the level of professionalism that the members of these associations are trying to bring to the table, are very much based on the idea of representing your interests, not just selling one thing to try and make as much money as possible. And if you're able to find someone who, through one way or another, whether it's participation in X association, or even through a local reputation that goes back many years demonstrating their integrity, start by looking for that person of integrity with lots of experience here in Costa Rica who can take you from step one, your first initial dream of moving down here, all the way through searching different communities, regions of the country, and actually help you find either something in their region that works for you or a person that can help you in the region you end up deciding on. So anyhow, in summary, that was chapter 1 of FAQ 22, which is going to be the buying process. Today I covered 3 quick questions. Is land titled? Yes, it is, except for that beachfront land. Second, can foreigners buy property? Yes, you can, except for that beachfront concession land we discussed. And finally, the search for real estate, in my opinion, begins with a search for an advocate, the person who's really going to help you, a true professional, and not somebody that you meet your first night in a cantina who seems very friendly and is willing to give you advice on the best farm available. Anyhow, let me know what questions, comments, concerns you have. Send me an email to matt@cbtamarindo.com. Next on Costa Rica FAQ, we're going to start taking bite-sized pieces off of that actual buying process. Chapter 2 will be the offer for your Costa Rica property. Thanks very much for tuning in. Have a great day. Pura vida, and take care.